So, by Lord Sri Krishna's grace, we have completed chapter 7, going through detail every shloka. And now we will just today, being the 8th of September 2024, we will do a summary to recapture all that we have done. We have seen through the 30 shlokas. Yeah. So I'm not going to share the shlokas, but I'm just going to give you the summary so that we get the summary rather than going through each and every shloka. So there are 30 shlokas in this chapter 7. And when we started from the start of the chapter 7 itself, we said 7 to 12 is going to form a part of Ishvara Tattva. That is Paramatma Tattvam or Parabrahma Tattvam. So when we say Ishvara Tattvam, it is not confined to one Ishvara's name or form. That Bhagavan is going to very clearly depict in this chapter. And he is also going to end in this chapter to say that, look, do not fix me into one form and one name and confine me, whereas my actual philosophy is infinite, omniscient, omnipotent. It cannot be confined into one name and form. That's first gist we have to get it, because that's what Bhagavan finished in this chapter 7. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mama buddhaya. Okay. So this particular 7th chapter, when Bhagavan starts, he says this jnanam or the samagra jnanam, the composite knowledge. Samagra jnana means composite knowledge. Composite knowledge of what? Two items, he said, the composition of jnanam and vijnanam. So the same, he could have just said samagra jnanam and finished, but then he said jnanam teham sa vijnanam. Jnanam and vijnanam, he also said. So that means two composition that is making in the samagra jnanam. So this always in this context we have to keep it in mind. When he says vijnanam, it means visesha jnanam. When he says visesha jnanam, that means it is special jnanam, or it is the Ishvara tattva jnanam, or it is the aparoksha jnanam, or it is the parabrahma jnanam. And jnanam, when he says, it is the jnanam that can be cognized, or we can be understood by the 5 senses, or the relative knowledge is jnanam. The absolute knowledge is vijnanam. That we must first get it. So wherever Bhagavan is going to say vijnanam, is that we take it as visesham. Visesham means abstract, meaning to say it cannot be confined. It encompasses everything. So visesha jnanam comprises jnanam as well. And the word itself is like that. Vijnanam includes jnanam. So in a way, the samagra jnanam itself is vijnanam. But to understand the vijnanam, we go through jnanam. Because what we are now dealing in this class now is in a very transactional stage. So the jnanam that I'm imparting, the jnanam that you are learning today, as through this particular recording or through this class today, what is this jnanam? This is just jnanam. This is not Visesha Jnanam. Visesha Jnanam is what each one of you will perceive at the abstract level. Visesha Jnanam cannot be shared. The Vijnanam can only be realized. Whatever we show, the Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam, as we go through the process of learning through these, even whether through Shravanam, as how individual students understand cognizance, initially the cognition is also kind of a jnanam. But once you have understood the Vijnanam, everything sublimes into that. There is nothing else that you need to understand anymore. That is why Bhagavan he said, idam Vijnanam, sa Vijnanam, asesha Vijnanam, yat jnatva. Second shloka. I'm not deviating from the thing. Yat jnatva bhuyaha iha anyat jnatam na avasishyate. So truly that Vijnanam, if you have understood, we don't need any jnanam after that. We don't need to listen anything. Everything is only then for loka sangraham. But even if in case we go for some kind of transaction knowledge. It is just only to kind of add it or supplement it, but there is nothing more. You have realized what you mean to say. A Jivan Mukta, a Jnani, once he has become, he's a Jnani. He never becomes Ajnani again. Right? So that is the one Bhagavan. So whenever Bhagavan says Jnani, is a really a Vijnani. He's got the Vishesha Jnanam or the Aparoksha Jnanam. This we must keep it very clear. The Jnanam and Vijnanam, because these two terms are coming. So that's what Bhagavan he says, Yajnatva Bhuya Ega Jnatavyam Avasishyate. Vijnanam. And Bhagavan, that is why he says, Sahasreshu Manushyanam Kaschit Siddhayetati. So only thousands and thousands of people, in thousands means it's leading millions of people really even to come to the level of Jnanam. What about Vijnanam? So Bhagavan, Yatatam Siddhaye means this, to try to get even the Jnanam, the transactional knowledge of this Gita, the Upanishads, the Tattvam through the scriptures. And then the people who have gone through the scriptures a lot and then practiced it, even then Bhagavan he says that Aparoksha Jnanam, only 1 in million in those, then get it. That is why he said that Manushyanam Sahasreshu. And then further to analyze this Jnanam and Vijnanam, he splits them into from a Prakriti. From a Prakriti means in this Prakrishena, that is in this creation. Because the knowledge is not only within inside me, the knowledge is outside of me. Meaning to say, inside and outside of me means what is this body for all of us. Whenever you say inside and outside of you, with the context of the body, truly there is no inside outside. Right? But then we are all part of that creation. So in that creation, because we are now expanding our knowledge. So in that expansion of knowledge of creation, Bhagavan said this creation Prakriti is formed of 2 important creation or 2 Prakriti. So one he said is Apara Prakriti. Here A means it is not Para. Another one is Para Prakriti. Para Prakriti means that is a ultimate, like Parabrahman. Parabrahman. Similarly, the Para Prakriti means it is a highest abstract form of the creation that we can understand. But we can understand Apara Prakriti in our transactional world. So Bhagavan said this Apara Prakriti, what you cognize and what you understand every day, can be again be composed of 8 parts. Binna Ashtada. Ashtada Binna, he said, Apara Prakriti. What are those 8 ones? Bhumihi, that is earth. Apaha, water. Bhumi, Rapo. Analaha. Analaha means fire. Vayuhu, wind. Then come space. Buddhi, come mano, your mind. Then buddhi, your intellect. And ahankaraha, that identity, that I, that in a relative form of I. Ahankaraha. Because with that relative form of even an identity of I am learning or I am trying to know, there will be nothing happening. So the I and then the Buddha. So you got that 8 parts, right? 8 parts. That 5 is 5 earth, wind, water, and fire. And then mind, buddhi, mind, intellect, and then your identity. This is completely in the 8 forms in Apara Prakriti, whether it is with you or it is outside of you. Other person also has got ahankara. You also got ahankara, I mean identity. So there is an identity formed creation which is split into 8 parts. Then Bhagavan said there is one that is superlative of these all in the form of creation, and that he says is the Para Prakriti, meaning to say that Para Prakriti, the superlative form of or the abstract form of creation, he says that is the base. That base of Para Prakriti is nothing but Brahman. So in the summary class, when we go, we get to that word immediately, not keep it anything later. So that Para Prakriti means Para Brahman. That Para Brahman is what is then pervaded through all these 8 Prakriti, 8 forms of Apara Prakriti. So para prakriti pervaded into apara prakriti, or the vijnanam is what is pervaded into the jnanam. So this vijnanam and para prakriti, apara prakriti, then Bhagavan he said, and he said this para prakriti is the one by which all this creation is being upheld. That is why he said that is a sustenance, or that is the one, that is the adaram, or that is the one base. That's the realm of existence. Everything exists in that abstract form of realm of existence. Okay, and then in this creation, when we come, there should be a creator. There should be, the creation cannot happen without a creator, right? And then for creating, there should be some substance, raw material. And that we must understand again from an Advaiti concept, as how this Krishna takes it through this. So in this particular, and that's why he's going to go into all the other cognizable or objectifiable part in the creation. Before we go there, the raw material, because whenever there is a raw material we do for creation, there will be something that will be removed from there, right? Because you have to take something to create something. But that Parabrahman, which is, that is why Brah Dhatu means ever expanding. So that Brahman is what we call Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Vivartopadana Karanam. That means that creation, that raw source of creation never depletes. It's non-depleting, because that creation itself is only a modification. There is nothing new that's created. No new energy is created or destroyed, as much as we stay in the metaphysics. And that's what our scripture says. There is no new creation. There is no truly any destroy, or there is something that comes out of something into something. That first we must get. And that is what he said, Brahman is Vivarta Upadana Karanam. But then because of the modification happens, you say then into creation, who modifies it? That we call as Ishvara. That we call as Ishvara. That creator we give so many names. You see, Devi Mahatmyam, it says Devi who takes the form and then created everything. She created from her itself the three murtis, and then he gave them the three Devis, and then he said, you Shiva, you destroy Mahavishnu, you Chaturmukha Brahma, you create. And so, you go to Devi Mahatmyam, it goes like that. You go to Shiva Puranam, it says everything comes from Shiva did this. And then you go to Vishnu Puranam and everything that he says Mahavishnu was the first one, then everything. So it doesn't matter. That is why when we get this foundation, we can reconcile all this Purana into this. There is no conflict between them, because it is only a name and fame, which name, fame, and the form, which is very referential in context, as per the Bhakta's Bhava. That's all. So that Ishvara, or that God, which we call as the creator, we are going to call it as Karana Maya. Maya itself means it's an instrumental cause. See, in the summary class, I'm just going to comprise everything so that, we kind of get the whole philosophical pack into that. That's why I didn't want to go through shlokas. So the Maya, so it always, Ishvara, Maya, Jagat, as we go. Right? So this Maya itself, when we call this Maya, because Ya Maya, Sa Maya, Maya truly not, because Bhagavan introduces Maya in this chapter. That's why I have to bring that one. So Maya itself, what we call as a instrumental cause. Instrumental cause means the Bhagavan, when he creates, he is the intelligent cause. That's the difference. Ishvara is the intelligent cause. Maya is the instrumental cause. Meaning to say, you need an instrument. The creator needs an instrument. That instrument is Maya. And the instrument is always in the grip of the intelligent creator. Right? Only in creation can happen. So Maya is in the grip of Ishvara. That's why Bhagavan says, Mama Maya. So, but then the creation is what? Karya Maya. So Ishvara is the Karanamaya. Karanamaya, he is a creator. Karanamaya, he is the cause. Mamayo nirmahat brahma tasmin garbham dadayaham. He says, okay, in chapter number 14 and 15. 14. So, but having said that, then, so Karanamaya Ishvara, then Maya is his instrument, and then the creation which comes across is called Karyamaya, or the resultant effect that we all perceive as the creation. I am an effect. Now, other people in this class, all of you, you are also an effect, or you are listening to this, you are an effect, and I am also an effect. Effective identity. An effect comes only when a transaction happens between only the effective creation. But the cause is the same in me and you, in everybody. And that cause is the same Ishvara. So when we say Ishvara is in me and you, then we are taking as the Karanamaya. But even beyond the Karanamaya is the Brahman. So that is why Bhagavan says, and then why that is why Bhagavan says, Mayi sarvamidam protam. So that is why Bhagavan said in that 7th slokam, Mattav parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. So when Bhagavan said Mayi, that Bhagavan is a Sutratma. Or that Karanam, Ishvara. So in that Ishvara, we are all threaded like the gems, he said. And that is where the Ishvara's creation comes into as a causal mode. Ishvara's mode comes into the causal mode, and then he uses the instrumentation of Maya to make the effective creation of which we are all part and parcel of. And then from shloka number, so I am going through the same shloka, but going into through a analytical manner. That's all. Okay. So then from shloka number 8 to 10 and everything, he's even talked about everything in the creation, that there is an abstract element. That abstract element, like, is a taste in the water, the smell in the earth and everything. But truly that abstract element, you cannot remove it, because that abstract element is the one that makes the form. Because, we know the water is tasteless, colorless, odorless, everything. But from water, everything other taste comes, and that we have explained through all the other 5 means. And he said how Pranava, that Omkar is everything in Veda, but Omkar, but the Veda, all the sound and everything comes from that Pranava. So he goes on into explaining everything. I don't have to go through that, but you know that. And in all the elements that he said, in those elements that can be cognizable or that can be objectifiable, every one of them is a jnanam. That is a jnanam that we can perceive or objectify. But in that, the abstract knowledge in every one of them is the vijnanam. So just to, in fact, quickly, I will send you later a tablet. I think I asked some of you if you can try to put a tabulation. Later I will send you. Say, for example, apara prakriti is jnanam. Para prakriti is vijnanam. So for example, Maya. Maya is what? Maya is a jnanam. But Brahman is a vijnanam. Even Maya we cannot understand. We try to understand. But Maya is explicitly visible through Triguna. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Because these 3 guna, we are able to identify. We are able to objectify. That's why Bhagavan said in shloka number 12, Yechaiva satvika bhava rajasas tamasasaye matta evetitan vidhi nattvaham teshu te mayi. That's where when you come to that one, when Bhagavan says, know that this Maya is in me, but I am not in the Maya. So that is a kind of a statement we should understand. To take that one, because Maya is something like a wielding, because he said, but you are not able to objectify this abstract knowledge. Why? Because he said the Maya is in between you and me. Like, kind of. It's not truly there. But it is like, for example, say today the sunlight is very much low because there is lot of cloud. But it is as if the cloud is like the Maya. We are in this place. We think that the sun is prevented by the cloud. From the sun perspective, the cloud is even particle that cannot even be compared in size or any volume or mass or anything. Right? Similarly, but the cloud is actually in that same thing within the sun. Something like that. So Bhagavan says really, and why? Because only the Maya is, again, I told you, right? It's the instrument. So the instrument has to be in the creator hand. Creator cannot be in the instrument. Put it the same way. So Maya is instrument, I said, instrumental cause, whereas Bhagavan is the intelligent cause. That means the intelligent cause cannot be in the instrument. The instrumental cause has to be in the intelligent cause. Right? So if you transfer that words into that mode, you will get the correct answer. Yes, Bhagavan is a creator. He is the intelligent cause. Maya is in his hands. That is why he says, I am, Maya is in me, because the instrument is in the hand of the intelligent creator, but I am not in that one because that is only a jatam. Bhagavan is the Pratibimba Chaitanyam. Okay, so then, so that is why Bhagavan, he said, this is how we are not able to know the Vijnanam, he said. Idam sarvam jagatu mohitam. As if this whole earth has been deluded by this Maya, as I told you, with the cloud. Idam sar tribihi, ebihi tribihi, gunamayahi bhavaihi, idam sarvam jagatu mohitam, yebjaha param abjayam mam na abhijanati. Shloka number 13. Tribir gunamayer bhavaihi. So this Triguna Maya is the one by which we are not able to get that Vijnanam. We are all able to get the Jnanam because we are now in the Jnanam mode now. And the prayatnam that we need to get to the Vijnanam, Bhagavan gives Upayam from Shloka number 14. So Bhagavan, he says, very simple, Arjuna, that Triguna Maya, you can, because, you know, if, for example, you say, look, I want to scatter the cloud away. I want the sun. How do I do? Because I'm such a, from the perspective of the cloud, I am very small. And the cloud from the perspective of the sun is again very small. But you want to remove the cloud, the delusion between you, so you can get the Vijnanam. So Bhagavan, he says, come to me. Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam taranti te. Maya metam taranti. Taranti means transcend over. Tara means cross over a river, something like that. So he says, yes, you can cross over Maya. And what Bhagavan says, Mam eva prapadyante. The prapatti again is something that we have to understand it from a tattvic or a philosophic context. Prapatti normally literally means surrender. Surrender is important. That is why Bhagavan comes to say, yes, first step is the surrender. There is no doubt. But the ultimate way in which you are going to cross over Maya is by that Jnanam, the Jnani, by the Vishesha Jnanam. Because we must understand, our goal is what? Our goal is to get that Vijnanam. Not just only to surrender every day. Bhagavan, Bhagavan, I have surrendered, giving you. Bhagavan will help you. But Uddared Atmanatmanam. Right? So to get to that only, Bhagavan said, we can slip that 15th one. He says, the people who have not even come to the stage of knowing the Jnanam, how far is that Vijnanam for them? So he said, there are people who don't even come to the stage of Jnanam, leave alone the Vijnanam. But then he said, Arjuna, yes, people do come to surrender unto me. But their surrender is consisting of only 4 different, and everybody who comes to surrender unto me, I call all of them bhaktas. They trust in me. Yes, they have absolute belief in me. They have taken this Ishvara in the different forms of, they have taken the Ishvara to be transactable identity. Very much true. Bhagavan is not negating any of that. And he then says, but the bhakta, as from this bhakti or this devotion and surrender, must transcend to the level of being a jnani. To do that, Bhagavan says, yes, understand these bhakta Arjuna are of 4 types. Artha bhakta, Artharthi bhakta, Jignasu bhakta, and Jnani bhakta. And he says, yes, first is the Artha bhakta, that he has got some distress, some kind of a trouble, some kind of a pain, some kind of a thing, ailment, something that he is want to get rid of or get a relief from, or immediately he requires something as well. That first is to get rid of something. That's the Artha bhakta. He is in trouble. Then once the trouble is gone, he needs something now to progress. That's Artha-arthi. He needs some legitimate, like, for the sustenance of his life, wealth, food, progeny, everything, whatever. That's the purpose of this life. So he seeks that as well from Ishvara. He says that is Artha-arthi bhakta. Then Jignasu. Now, having said that, here is a person, though having got rid of all ailments, having got all that he needs, but still that query for him is, what is the purpose of my life? What am I going to go? What I know, I'm not going to take anything back with me. I came with nothing. I'm going to go with nothing. But I want to go with something that with this purpose of life, having lived so many years. And that could happen for even a person who is 10 years, 5 years, or to 50, 80 years at any time. Why am I born? Look at the young boys, when they have come into the existence to 10 or 12, why am I studying this? Why am I have to go through another 60 years to learn what? Or from, in our age, like in my age, maybe I can say, what is it? I've just got only X amount of years to live. But what am I really going to take? What have I done? What is the benefit of me living, or to the world, or the world to me? That person, Jignasu, who wants to understand the purpose of life, his existence, and queries, does the vicharam. That vicharam is the one that which he gets the viveka, and from the viveka he gets the vairagyam, and then he gets the vishesha jnanam, all VVV. So vijnanam is vichara purvaka viveka sahita vairagya purvita jnanam. Vijnanam. So Jignasu itself means he is into the path of Vijnanam. Because he knows the Jnanam is all the steps, the instruments into going into the Vijnanam. Jnatum ichchasi is a Jignasu. Nya is the dhatu there. But anyway, going from the Jignasu, who does a lot of efforts in this Mananam, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, then he says, Arjuna, that he becomes a Jnani. Jnani. With that, Ishvara's grace again, by the Guru's grace, he certainly gets that Jnanam. In this Janma, in this birth, everybody it is possible. Bhagavan guarantees. And he says, Udara Sarvai. And Bhagavan he says, but Arjuna, that Jnani, Aham Atyantam Priyaha. That Jnani, Jnaninaha, to the Jnani, Aham Atyantam Priyaha. To the Jnani, I am the closest and the one that is the dearest and dearest and dearest of all, because he is that Ishvara is no different from an identity of that Bhakta. And also Bhagavan said, Cha Saha Mama Priyaha. And he is the one that is the closest to me as well. So that statement itself reconciles to say that Vishesha Jnana level, that Parabrahman and the Jivatma are inseparable, or one and the same. Jiva Brahma Aikya knowledge, that Ekatvam, Advaita Jnanam, Aparoksha Jnanam, that he now understands there is nothing else except that one Brahman, and that is my existence. Even my own name or my form or my existence in this one is completely like a reflected consciousness that I am walking and seeing through. And when he completely is able to see that, not that he's got a dual personality, but he's able to see himself in the creation as part and parcel of that Parabrahman, then he has got that Aparoksha Jnanam. He is the Jnani. And at that level, Bhagavan says, he is no different from me. And that is why Bhagavan is saying, again in Shloka 18, he says, Udara Sarva Evaite, Atmiya. Though all of them, all the bhaktas are indeed good, they are all sattvic person, Arjuna, there is no doubt. But Jnani tu Atma eva iti me matam. That's a very highly declarative statement by Bhagavan. These are all Advaita Pramanika sentences or phrases. Jnani tu Atma eva iti me matam. So again, Bhagavan says that one. And Bhagavan says that to get to that Jnani, he says, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabaha. Bhagavan does not make it as if it is far out of reach for any of us. That's not the Bhagavan's intention to say, look, this particular Jnani is, because we all think, we are thinking that we are Jignasu, we want to become a Jnani. There is no doubt that Icha is there because we have got the goal set right. But the Bhagavan does not take the goalpost far away from you, saying that you will get it only too far away. What he's really trying to put in Shloka number 19 is saying, look, this is the ultimate goal. And you are almost there because you have understood this. Even coming into Gita, into listening to my verses, into my teaching, for you, I am close. And that Jnanam is there, is for you to take care of in this particular life itself. But wants to put that one as the ultimate goal, to put that, stress the goal of that Jnani, Vishesha Jnanam in our mind. Bhagavan has said, look, even if you have come this far, you have come a long distance away. You are almost there. That's what is the Bhagavan's message. Not to take the goalpost far away, but to take you close to the goalpost. That is his message. He does not want to have this bhaktas far away. But he says, even for a Jignasu, having this come, you have traveled millions and millions of birth or billions of birth to come to this. Why don't you come in this Janma? You will be close to me. That's the kind of Bhagavan's closeness, to bring him into the closeness to the goal, that he has set this goal as a supreme goal in our life. Because that Vairagya once happens for him, that this is the goal for me as the Vijnanam, how can that Bhakta not become a Jnani? That is the kind of Bhagavan's motivation into this particular shloka. And then again to say that your distracting factor, if at all, if it is not to this particular Bahunam Janmanam Ante, it is only by the Kama Sthai Hritajnanaha. Your Jnanam, whatever that Jnanam needs to take it to the Vijnanam, has been taken away by the Kama, that you have this Icha, and that your Prapatyante, whatever that surrender you do, is for either the Artharthi or Artha Bhakta. Do not confine yourself. So the shloka from 20 to 24, 25, I'll very quickly summarize. It is only Bhagavan wants to say, don't confine your bhakti to only Artha Bhakti and Artharthi Bhakti. Get as much as you are doing the prapatti into me, prapatyante, that prapatti means that bhakti into me, take it toward jignasu and jnanam, vijnanam side. Take towards a jignasu, put that as your life primary goal. Moksham through this jnanam as the primary goal, and not through the artham artharthi, because that is never ever going to end, Arjuna. You are never going to be 100% out of any artha or artharthi. Or you can never say, I've got all that I want in my life, enough. No way, nobody can say, he says. The richest man, the youngest person, the most healthy, or the person who can take 20 gold medals in Olympic, neither he can say nor anyone can say. So that's why Bhagavan says, Antavattu palam tesham tatvavat alpamedasam. If you're going to invest all your knowledge and whatever you're getting through jnanam into a artha and artharthi side, Arjuna, then all your thing is depleted into the lower side of this particular goal. Raise your knowledge, jnanam, into the urdhva medasam, not from the alpa medasam, but uttama medasam, which is the Vishesha Jnanam. That's what Bhagavan wanted to say in that one. Not to say that in any way that your worship is not good, you are going to worship some other lower forms of God. Not that. Bhagavan's message is that don't refine your bhakti into a short-sighted tactical goals only. Have a strategy of doing to the jignasu and the vijnanam. And then Bhagavan again, he says, Avyaktam from 24-25. Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam. He says, Abuddhayaha, the one who don't have the avivekinaha, ones who don't have that vivekam, what do they do? Avyayam anuttam mama param bhavam ajanantaha mam avyaktam vyaktim apannam manyante. They have confined me into one form, one rupa, one thing, only into that form. Aren't they? And they call him Abuddhayaha. Don't confine me into one form and name and one limited places. Yes, I am there in your for you to perceive and cognize, but don't limit my Ishvara's darshanam into that one particular one, because he says I'm the only way to expand that knowledge of Ishvara. I am loka sarvasya yogamaya samavrataha. Because so that means by confining the Lord, that is why I said, by even confining the Lord into one name and form, you are again confining the Lord into the Sattvic Maya. Again, that comes to that same principle fundamentals we started in this class. There is a Vivarta Upadana Karanam Brahman. What is Ishvara? Ishvara is Brahman plus 100% Sattvic Maya plus Bimba Chaitanyam. So when we put Bhagavan into one name and form, we are still attributing Maya into that one. And what are we? We are also nothing but same Brahman plus the Maya. The Maya is having, but only difference is our Maya is in the form of Rajas and Tamas and everything, with some Sattvic as well. Then Pratibimba Chaitanyam, reflected consciousness. Bhagavan is Bimba Chaitanyam. We have got Pratibimba, that is reflected consciousness. That is why the Brahman, though it is there, the only thing where the Ahankara comes is from the Pratibimba Chaitanyam, the reflected consciousness. The reflected consciousness only is making me talk and making you listen. That is giving you the life factor, Pratibimba Chaitanyam. And what is the material world? Material world is same, nothing but Brahman plus Tamasa Maya. Tamasa Maya. So when we say something is Jadam, means it is a 100% Tamasa Maya. And Pratibimba Chaitanyam. Because that is why even the Jada matter has got some form, name. Yeah, but Brahman is there in that. That we must not forget it. Everything, there is nothing in the world without the Brahman. So once we know this, that is why Bhagavan, he says, Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrataha Aham na Prakashaha. Mudaha Mam Avyayam Ajam na Abhijanati. Maya did not crown the Ishwar, shield the Ishwara. You have attributed that by putting him into a form and name. That's what Bhagavan wanted to say that in 24 and 25 very clearly. And then, but again, Bhagavan, he says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani. I know Arjuna, I am omniscience. I have seen all, I know all the ones that is past, what is there today, every account, and what is going to come. But no one knows me. So then Lord makes the shloka below in that, again 27. Ichadvesha samuttena dvantva mohena bharata. So because why? Because my level of identity is with the mixture of rajasic and tamasic. Because of the rajas, I have the icha and dvesha. The icha and dvesha comes from the rajasic guna of the maya. Because of that, the sarva bhutani sarge sammoham yanti parantapa. Again, I've just taken that Maya aspect into that one so that we know what is that mohitam. Mohitam means that which is shielding it, that Maya. That Maya's resultant effect is ichadvesha. And also we must understand that's why that in everything that even in the effective form, that is why from the karyam only we can see the karanam. Because the karanam is like the seed which has pervaded through every part in the tree, but the seed afterwards is not seen. Similarly, the same Ishvara is there in every one of us. So going through the Ishvara, through the bhakti in the initial stages to that is still a very good, the right path to go. That's why Bhagavan still does not want you to forget about that Udara Sarvai. So, but the main thing is the Jnanam at the same, Jignasu and the Jnani Bhakta. That's where Bhagavan wants our concentration to be. And then by the Punya Karma that we want to do more and more with the Ishvara Arpanam, with the Karma Yoga. In fact, that last week I was there in one of the class where I have to differentiate for them the Karma Yoga for children. That's what I said. What is the difference between Karma and Karma Yoga? Again, just for you to recapture that. We say Karma means action. Nagi kaschit, again, third chapter. Nagi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtata karma. We cannot remain without doing any action at any time. But only thing is, so how to make every action? So when people ask how to apply this Karma Yoga, this is a simple recipe again given in Gita by Bhagavan. What he says that karma, you can't do it in either the right way, the wrong way, or not do at all. Arjuna in this case is tushti baboha. He didn't do anything, right? He just sat on the chair and said, Krishna, I won't fight. But what Bhagavan wants you to do first is niyatam tvam karma kuru. What that has been stipulated by the Shastras, the right one you do. And while doing the right one too, what Bhagavan wants you to do, yajñartat karmano yantra lokoyam karma bandhanaga tadartam karma kuru. So when we do that rightful action, the dharmic action, as a Ishvara Arpanam, that becomes Karma Yoga. Why I have to bring it is, Bhagavan says the next one, Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. So the punya, how does it negates the papa? Not only that, the punya also merges away. Because if we do the action for the sake of only punya, we have to be born again to reap that fruit. Right? We do not want to be born again. That's the game here. So that means, how do I do? Even do that as a Ishvara Arpanam. The minute we do that action as a Ishvara Arpanam, Yajñartat, and that is the true recipe Bhagavan has given in the shloka number 9 of chapter number 3. Yajñartat karmano. That yajñam means Vishnuhu or Ishvara. So when we do this properly stipulated dharma action as a Ishvara Arpanam, that itself has got the power for us to the Dvantagatam Papam, Te Dvantva Moha Nirmuktaha, Bhajante Mam Didavvrataha. That is the power of Karma Yoga, coming back to the Gita Saram, through which Bhagavan says that Jnanam becomes a Vijnanam. So the Jnanam becomes a Vijnanam through Karma Yoga. And the Karma Yoga comes through the rightful action done as into the Ishvara Arpanam. Simple. And as far as that is not there, Jnanam remains separate, Vijnanam remains separate. And Vijnanam will be a far-fetched goal. Only then. So the linking factor from Jnanam to Vijnanam is the Karma Yoga. That is why Bhagavan stresses on Karma Yoga through the full of Bhagavad Gita. And again, to finish that one, in the last 2 verses of 29 and 30, Bhagavan gives all these things for a jnani and gives it in a very aphormic phrases, like, kind of a thing. But that sows the seed for the next subsequent chapter. There he says, Ye jara marana mokshaya mam ashritya. Mam ashritya means here Bhagavan says, Mam Vasudeva ashritya. Ashritya means depending. Truly, Bhagavan doesn't want you to depend. But what we are dependent on? Maya ashritya, Maya ashritya. We are there mostly depending on the Maya. But when Bhagavan says Mam ashritya, that Parabrahman, that ultimate goal, Jnanam, Vijnanam ashritya. Mam ashritya is equal to Vijnanam ashritya. Hey Bhagavan, I want that Vijnanam, by which I do not want to be born again. That is my Dridhavrata. The previous shloka when he said, that is my Dridhavrata. For that, let me do the Karma Yoga with completely to Arpanam to you. Not about a single tinge of personal goal and selfishness in that Bhagavan. That is what is Mam Ashritya when Bhagavan, when he says. Ishvara Arpana Karma. That is what Bhagavan says, Mam Ashritya, Jara Mokshnaya Yatanti, Te Akilam Karma. All the actions then goes into that Ishvara Arpanam. Cha Kritshnam Adhyatmam. All that, whatever he does, even for his self-benefiting or context in the self-context as well, Adhyatmam, Brahma Tat Viduhu. When he does that, even knowing, Krishna, I am not knowing. Who am I to know? You was knowing. I am not the knower. Me, Babu, I am not the knower. When that comes to that, but Krishna, you are the knower. So you get the knowledge. You please reveal the knowledge. When that comes, and that is a continuous effort by when we do this action into this, then Bhagavan says, Tasaha Brahma Viduhu. And then this is from a individual context. And the last shloka 30, he takes it from a external context. He says, Sadi Bhutadi Devam Mam, Sadi Yagyam Chaye Viduhu, Prayana Kale Pichamam, Te Vidur Yukta Chetasaha. Yeah, these Jnani Bhaktas, in this all A is all equal to, meaning those Jnani Bhaktas. Those Jnani Bhakta, Adibhuta, Adidevam. Adibhutam means in the physical realm of this Bhutam, Panchabhutam, and Adidevam in the divine respect of all the realm in this particular world in the existence. And Adi Yagyam, Sa Adi Yagyam means for that functional aspect of in this creation, whatever he does, Mam Viduhu. Yeah, when he knows this as me, that Parabrahman in everything, inside of him, outside of him, and in the transactional stage and everything, prayana kale api, unto the last breath, mam yukta chetasaha viduhu. That is the person who has got the intellect through the jnanam for getting the vijnanam. So by finishing that one, Bhagavan says the upayam of taking the jnanam to vijnanam, to become from first two kind of the bhakta, from a jignasu bhakta into a jnani bhakta. The last shlokas are the process for Bhagavan's teaching to take from a jignasu bhakta into a jnani bhakta, keeping the jnani bhakta as the mentor, and that is what he finished in the shloka number 29 and 30, which Bhagavan Arjuna will ask in the doubt in the next chapter, and we will do that. And with that, I will finish the summary class. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Vijnana Yogo Nama Saptamo Dhyayah Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Okay. Any doubt, Shashi Bhaiya?
No. So, just in a very small form, we do understand this relative knowledge and absolute knowledge, jnanam and vijnanam, which is a very good explanation. But so, first stage of person to get is a jnani, when he obtained all the relative knowledge and then converts that relative knowledge to an absolute knowledge by way of doing karma, and that karma which is 100% submitted to Ishvara.
Karma
Is that
yoga.
what you
Yeah.
said?
Yes, 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 yes. As a karma yoga.
Karma yoga. Okay. So, in other words, a person can only do that karma yoga, that way of karma, with the full understanding after obtaining a proper knowledge.
See, the
So
jnanam,
relative knowledge, can we say this question I'm trying to form now? Question is it that through the relative knowledge only I can learn how to do karma yoga? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that is also correct. Because what we are now reading through Gita and then understanding, that is also jnanam in the relative knowledge. It's a relative knowledge. So to learn karma yoga, see, karma yoga is such a beautiful thing in the whole of Gita. The karma yoga is also, see, through jnanam, we get that karma yoga, to do karma yoga. And the more and more of karma yoga we do, the jnanam ripens to be like a viveka and vairagya. When the viveka and vairagya comes, our sadhana chatushtayam, the adhikari for vijnani, let me put as vijnani rather than jnani. A vijnani. So we are all in a way jnani. When we say jnani, this jnani is only relative jnani. But when you want to truly become a vijnani, that karma yoga which makes you as a sadhana chatushtaya, meaning to say that adhikaritvam with viveka vairagya purvakam, then that ripens into that vijnanam.
So can we say like this? We all know how to do dhanam. Okay. And not how to, sorry, we don't know how to do that. But we know dhanam is good. We should do dhanam. But we actually do not know how to do dhanam, a correct way of dhanam.
That's right.
Right? Because we take a credit while doing a dhanam. Although we need to get an understanding that whatever we are doing the dhanam is all given by him.
Yes, that's
and
right.
his thing, I'm giving it further away.
That's right.
But now this gives a one meaning that yes, we are trying to get this knowledge of understanding one sort of karma. We took it, this one type of karma, which is dhanam. Dhanam is a karma.
Yes.
So it's one type of karma we're talking. Like this in our life, we have with this janma, with this sharir, this body we have been given, we do lot of karma.
Yeah.
So sometimes it gets a feeling that, okay, I'm getting this knowledge now, but for me to now practice or to be a karma yogi, time is very limited.
Yeah.
So will it be carried forward in my next janma?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what in 6th chapter Bhagavan says, that Bhagavan gives that guarantee that, even the step that you do once or anything, I bring this jnanam back to you. This relative jnanam itself is not gone. He says, I bring it back to you in your next life. So every time and everything that we invest into this itself has got a multiple portion of returns of benefit. But as you said, but the return of benefit is even multiplied when we do the dhanam or any of the karma as a karma yoga, as a Ishvara Arpanam. And that is the main thing. The more and more we say, look, Bhagavan, I'm not even asking this anything. You know it best. I'm not going to ask because my ask is not going to end, because I've gone through this now 62 years of life. It is not going to end. So Bhagavan, you decide. When that stop comes, no, then it becomes, the jnanam becomes very ripe.
Yeah, I think if we go back and if I see my own life,
I can
we have
say all
done
these
so
things
much of karma, but they're all been done subconsciously, not really consciously.
That's right.
Right? See, it just happens that we go and give somewhere something, and then, but there is no consciousness in it. A compassion towards others. Either it has gone through automatically, like, simply, but knowingly and properly and knowingly, consciously, that it is the Krishna who is doing it in my body.
Yeah.
That evoke is sometimes you feel, I might use the word regret, a kind of, after knowing this jnana. After knowing this jnanam, this knowledge of sattvic good dharma, proper dharmic way, sometimes you get a feeling which should not come, but you say, oh my God, it's too late. I understood it.
Yeah. And also, this is where I also feel a lot of the devotion helps in these ones, because we are all what can I say, we are all beings of emotions and feelings. And the more older we grow, our senses and emotions become multiplied than when
Mm,
we were young. And at that time, to do karma yoga without being any emotion, like, for example, you do a big gift to someone, right? And then that person does not even say a thank you. You might have certainly give, look, I've taken out of full compassion without any benefit from him, and we give it, and with that person has to take it and say not even something to you or even talk to you back. You feel one bit, oh God, what happened? Why he's not even returning back to say whether he's got the benefit or not? I'm only wanting to know. But even that, when it stops, that's when it is truly karma yoga, because Krishna, you know what it is. But again, when we come to the karma yoga and everything as well, and Bhagavan says that is why when we do the dhanam, know the patram, know the desham, know the kalam, and that is also there. So what my guru like Omkaranda Swami and our Acharya and everybody says is, when we do this action by dharma itself,
mm.
lot of the karma yoga part of is taken care. Then the very little part that you have to do is, Ishvara, I don't need to take care of myself. And I am doing this dana because this is what is the niyatam in the shastram. And that I am doing completely as arpana to you, not to my
Mm.
parents or not even to anyone. You take care. That's enough. Then we go. Then there is no negative feeling. There is no, what can I say? No emotions. No emotions. The more and more we get out, that is my experience here, I don't know if that is right. The more and more I can get emotion free, senses free as I grow old in doing all these actions, I think then the karma yoga plays its part. But
I think that's a very good explanation. Sometimes I think what you rightly said, in our everybody's life, this situation comes that you have done some lot of things for somebody, and he doesn't or she doesn't even say thank you to you.
yeah,
My answer to that is actually I owe him from my previous janma,
yeah, you're right, you're right.
right? I had to do it
Yeah,
to pay back,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So if it comes and she says thank you to me, then my my payback is not done.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
good that he doesn't come and she doesn't come and tell me
Ah,
thank you, because I actually owe him
that's a
from
very
my
good one.
previous life
That's good.
something, because he had done something for me,
That's
and
right.
now in this janma I've been given opportunity to do that.
That's right.
So, but it came very late, but I think it came because of this knowledge.
That's very good. Very good to know, Ji. Thank you for sharing,
Acha,
because
Babuji, last thing, in this week, when do you have about 15-20 minutes? I will, you
yeah,
know,
I'll stop recording now and then we'll talk. 1 second.
oh, sorry.